What Echeveria albicans lacks in showy colors, it makes up for in shape. This chonky beauty may not display bright, vibrant colors when stressed, but it stands out thanks to its thick leaves. Echeveria albicans doesn't naturally grow in the wild and is said to be cultivated variety of Echeveria elegans. Despite this, albicans looks quite different to elegans. Its leaves are much more swollen, it grows smaller and the flower stalk is thinner. This succulent forms a rosette shape and can grow to approximately 10 cm or 4 inches in diameter and about 7 cm, which is about 2.8 inches tall. It forms clumps with its numerous offsets, and these can measure well over 20 cm when the offsets are not separated and left to grow. The leaves are short and stubby. They are much more swollen than most Echeveria. When albicans is stressed, the leaves grow even shorter and form super tight rosettes. A white dusty coating called the farina covers the leaves, giving albicans a softer look. The farina acts like a sunscreen and should be preserved as best as possible. The color can range from silvery white to light blue-green. When very stressed, albicans can sometimes go a bit pinky, but this doesn't happen very often. Echeveria albicans is a sun lover and is best grown outdoors when possible. For good compact growth, it should be placed in a spot with good direct sun exposure. About 4 hours should be enough. Albicans will, however, tolerate bright shade or filtered light, but the leaves will stretch out and the whole shape will become less compact. In a shaded spot, the danger of fungal disease such as powdery mildew or rot increases. This succulent and pretty much all Echeveria are not great indoor plants. You may be able to grow it successfully if you have a sunroom, a long sunny window or plant growing lights with the right spectrum. But in the average house, albicans will have a tough time surviving and is likely to eventually die from lack of light. Pots as well as frost-free gardens are suitable for this plant. Albicans should be placed in the front row when grown in gardens due to its low growth habit and need for decent light. Most succulents don't like sitting in soggy soil, and so it's ideal if the garden bed is on a slope or raised. In pots, repotting once per year will facilitate offset growth. When it comes to potting medium, a regular succulent potting mix can be used. It should have the right pH, nutrients for healthy growth and good drainage. In the garden, albicans can be planted directly into garden soil. If you have heavy or poor quality soil, you can improve it by mixing any type of garden potting mix in. This will add structure to the soil, break it up and improve drainage. Many succulents also have very thin roots that find it hard to spread in dense soil. By adding potting mix, albicans will find it easier to push its roots through, find nutrients and therefore grow. When it comes to watering, albicans, at least in my experience, does not seem to be too fussed about rain, overwatering and generally growing outdoors during wet and humid weather. I love growing albicans for these reasons and would recommend it for beginners. During dry spells, water when the potting mix dries up from previous watering. While albicans is drought tolerant and will go months without water, it will grow and look better when watered regularly. Also, the potting mix or soil is less likely to go hydrophobic. In winter, albicans doesn't really need to be watered much as it tends to go dormant. Water only if you see leaves shriveling and dying off at the bottom. Temperature-wise, Echeveria albicans is mildly frost tolerant and should cope with frosts down to about -3 degrees Celsius, which is 26.6 Fahrenheit. If the frost settles for too long, the plant may suffer frostburn. It is likely to die in climates with regular frost and snow in winter and should be kept indoors until all dangers of frosts pass. Albicans will also tolerate the heat of over 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit as long as it's kept in afternoon shade when in pots. Direct sun at these temperatures may severely burn the leaves and even kill smaller, less established plants. Mature plants and those planted in the garden may pull through direct sun during heat waves. Echeveria albicans is easily propagated from offsets. It can also be propagated from seeds, but I don't think it's worth it as seeds take an eternity to grow to a decent sized plant. You can try leaf propagation, though it may prove slightly difficult due to the shape of the leaves. They tend to break in all the wrong places because they are very thick. If you do manage to separate them without breaking, you can place them on a tray in a dry but bright spot and wait for about 2 to 3 weeks before babies appear. When new leaves and ideally roots emerge from the leaf, you can plant into a small pot filled with potting mix and start watering. By far the easiest way to propagate albicans is by cutting or pulling its offsets off and planting them in a separate pot. Albicans can grow offsets so tightly to its base it can prove hard to separate them without damage. In my experience, if there's not enough stalk you can cut through or pull on, wait until the pups are a bit bigger and naturally push themselves out a little. They'll be easier to grab. After separating the offsets, leave in a bright, dry spot for a minimum of 24 hours so the wound created by the cut has a chance to heal. This will stop harmful bacteria or fungus getting into the cutting. Roots should appear in about 2 weeks. The best time to propagate Echeveria albicans is spring and summer when it's not too hot. If you live in a climate with mild winters, early autumn will work great as well. I have some bad news when it comes to pests. Slugs and snails find this plant irresistible. Slugs will climb through other plants they would normally eat just to get to albicans. Caterpillars and grasshoppers will also not pass an opportunity to have a snack, but they are not as attracted to it. The annoying little aphids usually appear when albicans start flowering and are likely to be found all over the flower stalk. I don't usually see many mealybugs, but they can make themselves at home, and when they do, they become almost invisible until you have a full-blown infestation. Because the rosette is so tight, mealybugs may be difficult to spot. Root mealybugs are pretty common when the albicans is root bound for too long. The flowers of this Echeveria come up on a tall stalk and are pink and yellow. They are pendulous and hang over the rosette. Each stalk can hold about 8 flowers. In my part of the world, albicans flowers at the end of winter or in early spring, though this may differ based on where in the world you are. Echeveria albicans has no toxic properties to cats, dogs, livestock or humans and is safe to have around plant-curious pets and kids. Despite this, I would not recommend adding this plant to your salads. And that is all for today. I hope this video was useful, and if you have anything to add or a question to ask, you can let us know in the comments below. To learn more about succulents, hit the subscribe button or go to succulentgrowingtips.com. Thank you very much for watching.